What's up, learners? It's your student teacher Nika, back again with another video. For today's lesson, we will learn about the Unit 1, Models of Disability, specifically the moral or religious model. Now, before we jump right into my report, let us be enlightened about the learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students are expected to K. Identify the different religious beliefs of a moral model of disability. S. Compare and contrast the diverse ideologies of disability of each religion, Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. A. Practice oral communication in building openness and equalness of one set of beliefs in viewing disability. Now, let's define first the following key points before we proceed in the discussion. Disability is any condition of the body or mind or impairment that makes it more difficult for the person with the condition to do certain activities or activity limitation and interact with the world around them or participation restrictions, according to Geneva 2001 WHO. Models of disability. It provides a reference for society as programs and services, laws, regulations, and structures are developed, which affect the lives of people living with disability. According to Models of Disability 2016. By allowing one to examine and consider something that is not the real thing but is similar to it, models help with comprehension. For today's lesson, you might wonder why we have models of disability and why is it important to study and have knowledge about it, especially as future teachers. Understanding the various models of disability is essential so that people with physical and mental disabilities can utilize a variety of services to obtain the assistance they require. Different kinds of models are used by people to better understand the problem or the world around them. According to SMART study in 2004, as cited in Retired and Listosas 2018, emphasizes that models of disability are important as they serve several purposes. 1. They provide definitions of disability. 2. They offer explanations of causal and responsibility attributions. 3. They are based on preserved needs. And 4. They inform policy. 5. They are not value neutral. They shape the self-identity of PWDs. And 6. They can provide insight on how prejudices and discriminations occur. Now, what is moral or religious model of disability? Moral or religious model of disability sees disability as either a blessing or a curse. Parents who bore children with disabilities were seen from within a spectrum where on the end, God was punishing them for a sin that needed to be atoned. And at the other extreme, He was a blessing the family by giving them a precious gift that only they could care for. It is also characterized by notions of charity and caretaking, because they view these people as pitiful and need to be taken care of or isolated so that the deviants cannot harm them. They tend to hide these types of people because of embarrassment. This is also viewed as the oldest model of disability. This model has been discovered during the medieval times from the 5th to 8th century, when the people saw the church as one of the most influential figures in Europe. The perception that God was an all-powerful being was so deeply ingrained in mass consciousness that it had an impact on how PWDs or persons with disabilities were treated by society at that time. This model comes also from various religious perspectives. In Islam, the cause of disability is not attributed to wrongdoing by the disabled person or their parents. Islam views disability as a challenge set by Allah. The Quran urges people to treat people with intellectual disabilities with kindness and to protect people with disabilities. Muhammad is shown to treat disabled people with respect. In Christianity, in the early Christian era, in the Old Testament, Man is supposedly created by God in his own image. Disability was viewed as an impurity. Thus, a disabled person was denied some rights. For example, being prohibited to enter the sacred places. Later, though this perspective changed as the New Testament presented Jesus as being helpful with disabilities, from viewing disability as a sign of evil, people's perspective changed to viewing persons with disability as needing help. In Buddhism religion, it believes that bad karma, which arises from immoral actions, is the cause of disability. Life is the highest gift according to them, but the Buddhist belief in reincarnation means that people that are born into disadvantage often pay for it. This is easily seen in people with disabilities. If you are disabled, it is believed that you must have done something wrong in a past life and are consequently paying for it in this one. So it is the concept of karma. You must accept your own suffering to be reborn into a better life. In addition, in Asylum era, during the Renaissance period, the Catholic Church began accepting with disabilities as wards of state. This was the start of the humane treatment given to them. They were taken care of for albeit isolation. However, the belief that once disabled, always disabled. In the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia, according to Jackson 2018, mentally ill, retardates, degenerates, and defectives were built. Additionally, workhouses and segregated residential schools with faraway dormitories were constructed. Now, the question is, how can we promote equity by adhering to the moral model of disability? Number one, make disability as a central topic of discussion. Two, implement community-driven solutions collaboratively. Three, discover how one's cultural identity affects how disability is understood. Now that's all for today's discussion. I hope you have learned something.